are running about 12 minutes behind, so we'll probably push through the scheduled break. Good morning, Wayne. Thank you for being before the committee this morning. We've got you for 5 minutes this morning, so I'll hand over to you to start your presentation.
Point of order, Mr. Chair. Can I just request that we have at least a 5-minute pee break, because we're going to literally be sitting down for about 4 or 5 hours.
Members are fully entitled to leave as they see fit, but we are running behind and we are needing to keep the schedule, so we'll keep pushing through. But members can take up to 10 minutes to leave the room and it won't affect quorum. So I will reset the clock, Wayne, and we'll go over to you now.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. I'm presenting as a concerned individual, father and grandfather, a little bit similar to the 2 previous presenters. I'm concerned with the direction New Zealand has gone regarding race relations, particularly over the last 40 years. I support the principles of the Treaty of Waitangi Bill for the following reason. The Treaty of Waitangi doesn't have any principles. It has 3 articles, and it was a pretty basic document when it was put together to keep it simple so everybody could understand what it was about. Article 1 states that the Maori chiefs ceded sovereignty to the British Crown, and I firmly believe that the chiefs of the time knew what they were signing into. They asked the British for help because they were worried about the French. Article 2 states that private property would be protected and property could be sold or purchased through a government office. And by 1865, Maori had sold over 90% of their property. Now, I can't go back and ask for my property that my great-grandfather sold at the price that he sold it for, but that seems to happen these days. Article 3, that stated that all Maori would become British citizens, and that with equal rights to the British settlers who were already here, and that was very important for the Maori chiefs as they had travelled to England. Some of them had travelled to England and they'd seen what life was like over there compared to New Zealand. The treaty definitely doesn't have any principles. In 1987, Justice Cook made the comment that the treaty was akin to a partnership. And that comment heralded the start of numerous principles being made up and fabricated out of thin air that give superior rights to anyone with the slightest bit of Maori ancestry. Now, my wife and I are very fortunate to have 9 grandchildren. 5 of those grandchildren have Maori ancestry through their father, and 4 of them don't. And I see it's totally wrong that these kids grow up with some of them having different rights and privileges due to who their great-grandfather was, and the other 4 don't, even though they are 5th-generation New Zealanders. And in most countries around the world, this is called racism or apartheid. But in New Zealand, it seems to be the accepted. We need to stop classifying New Zealanders by race, Maori or non-Maori, because New Zealand is made up of New Zealand citizens from more than 160 different countries. And that's what the previous speaker alluded to as well. And if we don't get to have a mature discussion regarding the future of our country with equal rights for everyone, then this issue will come to a head in a civil war. And I don't want that for my grandchildren and future generations or for this beautiful country. And that ends my presentation.
Thank you, Wayne. We've got some time for a couple of questions. I'll take some quick ones from Steve and then Todd if there's time.
Kia ora, Wayne. For your Māori grandchildren, would you feel rightly upset if our medical system didn't acknowledge that they have specific health risks due to their ethnicity, not due to any choices, other choices they've made in life, but due to their ethnicity, such as rheumatic fever, as we just heard? Wouldn't you want our health system to do really efficient targeting of those people who are susceptible to particular illnesses, such as Māori in the case of rheumatic fever?
Steve, that can be done through the health system. It doesn't have to be done through the principles of the Treaty of Waitangi or through law. It can be done through our health system. And I think a lot of the problems stem from the upbringing that the children have.
But these don't.
And
this is to do with ethnicity.
Sorry, Steve, sorry, we won't interrupt answers because that will delay proceedings and people want to have their small break. So Wayne, I'll allow you to finish, then we'll move on to the next one.
Well, I think my grandchildren are brought up in a pretty good household with, well looked after. And so I think I don't believe their health will be an issue.
Thank you, Wayne. Look, that's the time this morning. We want to just acknowledge your submission and thank you on behalf of the committee for joining us
today. Thank you for giving me the time.